guys, in this video I will talk about directional bias, how to form a narrative to know where the market is most likely heading, to take nice trades, to not stress. And yeah, as you can see, my analysis might not look that clear for you right now. This is GBPUSD. Let's open a new chart. Okay, and let's start. What I would do first is to mark some higher time frame levels. Levels where you can see clearly that price reacts there from. So let's say this one. I usually start from the daily or from the weekly. When you see a lot of wicks in some areas, it's usually a good place to draw a zone. This is not like some advanced stuff. It's just simple SNR. Not even MSNR, it's just simple SNR. Okay, so then I go to the 4 hour. In 4 hour it looks a bit more clear. Let's see some other zones. I don't usually mark zones where price consolidates. I tend to not trade while consolidations. Okay, so we have the most basic zones marked. And then what I usually do is I also mark the most important sweeps. Let's see, here was a sweep. And this is on the daily, so let's go to the far. I want to mark all the sweeps, obviously, because it would be a waste of time, especially I've already made a video about sweeps. But on higher time frame, it's very easy to spot these sweeps to know where the orders are coming from. So, for instance, let's talk about this part of the price action. We had a sweep, we tapped into a higher time frame level. Then we also tap into this EG order block, supply, whatever you want to call it. Oops. Reject of it. We also create the daily zone right here. And then after the daily rejection, I already have some sort of bias for it to go short. We have a 4 hour EG right here. Let me close. Okay. Facebook. We have this zone right here. I've already made a video about POIs, so you should already know why I mark these levels. So let's say that we've just rejected this price zone. Okay. Rejected. Now there is an EG here. What I will usually do is either enter of this EG, like here, or wait, and then let's go like 15 minutes or something. We create an EG here. After closing, I could look for sells. We also have this failed zone right here, which is a failed EG, failed order block, breaker block, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same stuff. And then if we miss these trades, we also fail this EG, which looked pretty damn okay. Okay, we didn't come back to it. We created another drop base drop. We measured this price range. We have this zone right here. I'm gonna talk about these zones here. And even without tapping into this price, we could have traded it with a bigger stop loss. Another one. Another tap into this EG. Another opportunity right here. Sweep. EG. Target whatever you want. So what I do again is go to higher time frame, then locate important sweeps, and then TMPU, which is the current market price. I usually don't look for confirmations, but if you are not certain about some zone, you can seek confirmations on the lower time frame and even look for more sweeps on the lower time frame, like here. Okay, so let's see what will happen after this. We have this pretty big rally-based rally zone. I would probably mark it like this and just lower the opacity, because it's a valid zone, but it's not like precise. Let's see. Okay, so rejected of the zone. We came back to discount pricing, tapped into this breaker or whatever. Okay, swept this low again. So this is pretty common to see that after tapping some sort of zone, we sweep the zone and then fly off it. And even if you trade this right here, you could have broke even already or lost. It's okay, you cannot win every time. So we tapped into this weekly SNR, which is one of my POIs, as I've already talked about in the POI video. Rejected of it. And now I'm gonna look for longs. Okay, and this is the current price. So this is the first example of how I form my narrative. Let's talk about this bit of price. Sweep, tap into this big SNR, and then after we start reacting in the discount, we can either look for shorts right here, or after tapping into the discount again, like here, and then discount of this whole price range. On the daily, let's delete these. On the daily, this is an SNR, daily SNR, MSNR to be exact. And the price aligns the sweep with the SNR top in. Then we can look for CMP. For example, we have this breakout right here. We break off the zone. Then we react from this EG on M15. Then see, we start reacting from the discount of this range, and it's the first opportunity for short. Then most likely this was some sort of news. Then we had this rally base, drop base drop, which is also an EG. We tap into it, and then this huge drop. Same thing again here. We tap into the zone. It looks like it starts rejecting. Then we have a sweep again, then a breakout, and a pretty easy basic SNR trade. Also in my entry zone. And then I'm looking for longs until we tap some sort of higher time frame level. I will draw it here so I know where we are. So first what I will be looking at would be this sweep. But as you can see, what we do is we just tap into the discount and continue. And we have this EG right here. Same thing again, EG, tap into my zone. Always the same stuff, as you can see. Okay, and I will talk about bias for gold now. As you can see, this is pretty much what I've had marked on my main GBPUSD chart. Pretty much the same thing. I even marked a bit more zones. No gatekeeping. Okay, so let's go to gold. For gold and Nasdaq, I usually only look for longs. And I also usually only take higher time frame trades as I'm a swinger. And yeah, so let's go to the daily and I will show you what I'm talking about. Let's start from here. Daily SNR. Okay, I'll go to another chart because it's a bit messy. Daily SNR breakout here. We tap into the discounts. We fly off. Immediately after the daily SNR has been broken, I'm looking for longs. Obviously, I'm always looking for longs because it's gold. But we didn't tap into the discount here. Probably we did, but in a lower time. No, we didn't. So I'd probably either not trade it or trade lightly because there's only this 4-hour EG right here. Another zone here. Tapped into the discount. Big discount of this range. And also either this low or this low. So in this case, here's an EG which isn't really that clean. But let's say because we want to enter here, even though the EG isn't that clean. M30 EG. That's all. And also here's a smaller EG. Okay, let's say you don't enter here. Look how many opportunities gold gives every day. If you know the direction of gold is usually longs. And in most cases, if you enter in the higher time frame discounts, even if the trade isn't that good, you should succeed. And let's see. What I always also do is look for higher time frame zones of the opposite direction that failed. Failed DG right here. This is for, so let's look at another one. Clean entry of a failed DG. Same thing here, not that clean, but if we measured this range, either from here or here, from here it's perfect, from here it's not, from here it's discount but not, it's like tapped into the 50% of the range. Also, I don't know if I always I always talk about it, that it's the red line is 50% of the range. Here's an EG that kind of worked because we got into the nearly to the all-time highs, but then it got flipped. And on lower time frame, we have this steady trend right here. And on even lower time frame, here's an EG that failed, and you can instantly look for the trade in the opposite direction. This is how I frame my bias. I just look for trades that make sense. It's the easiest way to explain this is that the trades need to always make logical sense. Higher time frame discount, higher time frame levels, higher time frame direction. These three things are the most important for the directional bias. Because if you catch yourself looking at only the lower time frames, you're gonna get confused. You're not gonna know what to target, what to expect. In this case, if you only saw this little bit of price, you could have said that it's instantly a short and start looking for entries of these POIs, which nearly always fail. As you can see, we swept this higher, tapped into some sort of POI right here. On 1 hour and above, it looks still like an uptrend. Okay. And now, we haven't broken anything important yet. After that this zone failed, I would start looking for shorts. Because it's an important zone that even you can see that we reacted from it in the past, and then it just failed. That's how you can tell that the zone is valid for direction bias. You could have also thought that it would be a liquidity sweep like here, but then we didn't have any sort of bigger reaction here. We formed like 5-minute DGs, but I don't go to the 5 minutes usually. My minimum is like 10 minutes, and as you can see, this is clearly like a basic retest of the zone. So after this video, I think you know how I look at the directional bias, and you should already understand all of my analysis at this point. There is obviously a lot of stuff that I'm not gonna talk about on these videos, because some of this stuff is basically either researched by me because it's something new, or invented by me, and I definitely won't share 100% of my knowledge here. But even with basic stuff like the market structure alone, you could be profitable if you know how to manage your risks properly. And I'm gonna talk about it in the future videos. And yeah, I'm gonna go to Bitcoin also. I've already talked about it like twice, but I want to talk about it again because it's a good example of what I've already talked about. So we have this daily EG. Price starts rejecting from this higher time frame zone. On 4 hour, we break this EG, and I'm immediately like, okay, this should be a good short. Then we have this EG, this zone, which is a QML, two-way trap or whatever you want to call it. I usually call it the two-way trap because this is how I was taught. As you can see, perfect. Come back to the discount, and then we just went straight down. And this is this tariff crash, which also continued here. And also, I'm gonna talk about why I took a long here, because I'm still in the long. And it's a pretty good example. We swapped this weekly low, tapped into this weekly EG, and on lower time frame we reacted from a discounted zone right here. However you want to mark it. Pretty easy. This one was a continuation short. Sweep, EG, discount. These three things. I'm always talking about this. Pretty simple and pretty powerful. If you have any questions, either DM me on Telegram, on Instagram, or in the comments. Write something, write questions in the comments. I'm always gonna answer all of them, and I'm gonna continue doing these videos. Because if I saw this like 4 years ago, I would the whole journey would be so much easier, because I was looking at stuff that didn't really matter, the lower time frames. Lower time frame mastery is the biggest problem in trading, in my opinion, because all the guys start from the lower time frame instead of the higher time frames, which is a big mistake. Okay, so I think that's all for this video, and see you in the next one.